Cristiano Ronaldo didn't come here to change lives. He only took a wrong turn, but what he found would change his heart forever. He didn't step onto a stadium that day. He stepped into a forgotten street and remembered who he really was. Some stories don't begin with stadium lights or roaring fans. Some begin quietly, with an unexpected turn. It was a late afternoon in Madrid. The sun, warm and golden, dipped gently behind the rooftops. Cristiano Ronaldo sat in the back seat of his black SUV, gazing out the window with the tiredness of someone who had given his all. Again. He had finished training early, not because he wanted to, but because his heart. It felt heavy. Lately, even the cheers felt distant. Fame had never been his goal. It was just the echo of his discipline. What he missed was something simpler, something quieter, something he couldn't name. The traffic on the main road was unbearable. His driver looked in the rearview mirror. "Should I take a side route, sir?" Ronaldo didn't answer at first. His eyes caught a glimpse of something, a group of pigeons scattering from a rooftop, the distant sound of kids laughing, the scent of fresh bread from a corner bakery. He finally said, "Take the next left. Let's go the long way." The driver nodded and turned. They entered a maze of narrow back streets, cobblestone roads, peeling paint on old buildings, wires hanging low like forgotten strings, children darting between shadows, their laughter echoing off the walls. The GPS blinked uncertainly, but Ronaldo leaned back and closed his eyes, peacefully. He didn't know where they were, and strangely, he didn't care, because sometimes the roads we don't plan for lead us to exactly where we're meant to be. Sometimes a single moment can crack open a memory. Sometimes a game isn't just a game. As the SUV rolled slowly down the narrow street, Ronaldo's eyes locked on something he hadn't seen in years, something real. A dusty open space between crumbling buildings, makeshift goalposts, a patch of dirt barely wide enough to be called a field. But there they were, a group of kids, maybe 10 of them, barefoot or in broken sandals, kicking around a nearly flat football like it was the World Cup final. One boy stood out, thin frame, torn t-shirt, but his touch, his movement, it was instinctive, raw, pure. And his eyes, those eyes weren't chasing the ball. They were chasing a dream. Ronaldo leaned forward in his seat, lips parting slightly. It wasn't nostalgia, it was recognition. "Do you hear that?" he asked his driver. "Sir?" "That sound, that's what football used to feel like." The driver glanced back, confused. "You want me to keep driving?" "No," Ronaldo said, eyes fixed on the boy. "Stop, right here." The SUV came to a halt, engine idling softly. Ronaldo opened the door and stepped out. He didn't say anything. No cameras, no entourage. Just a man walking toward a dream he used to know. At first, the kids didn't notice. The game went on, dust kicking up with every movement, shouts echoing off the buildings. Then one of the younger boys glanced over. He froze. His mouth opened, but no words came. He tugged on another kid's arm, whispering in disbelief. "Is that Ronaldo?" The ball rolled toward him. Ronaldo caught it under his foot, smooth, gentle, effortless. The entire group stopped, mouths open, eyes wide. No one breathed. He smiled, softly, almost like a memory. "Mind if I join?" They didn't scream. They exploded. "Yes, be on my team." "No, mine." "CR7, let's go!" The next 15 minutes were magic, not because of the man on the field, but because he wasn't acting like a man. He was playing like a boy. He dribbled, he passed, he laughed. For those precious minutes, Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't a superstar. He wasn't a brand. He wasn't a legend. He was just a kid playing the game he loved, where it all began. And somewhere deep inside him, a piece of his old self whispered, "I've missed this." While the children saw a legend, Someone else saw a man. Ronaldo was catching his breath, laughing as the kids swarmed around him, playfully arguing over teams, calling him coach, shouting instructions like they were in a real match. He was winded, not from running, but from remembering, and as he stood there, hands on his hips, eyes shining, he noticed someone watching. Across the courtyard, sitting on the edge of a low brick wall, was a man. He wasn't clapping. He wasn't taking pictures. He wasn't moving at all. Just sitting. Quiet. Still. Mid-40s maybe. Worn gray track pants. A faded whistle hung loosely around his neck. His face was sunburnt, slightly unshaven. But his eyes, they were sharp, focused, not on Ronaldo, on the kids, on every movement, every pass, every smile. Ronaldo tilted his head slightly. That kind of stillness, it wasn't passive, it was purposeful. The man was studying them, like a coach, but one with no clipboard, no badge, just intent. Ronaldo walked over, brushing sweat from his brow. "They're good," he said casually, nodding toward the kids. The man didn't look at him right away, just gave a small nod. "They love the game, that's enough." His voice was steady, no bitterness, no self-pity. "Do you coach them?" Ronaldo asked. "I show up," the man replied. "Same time every week, same place. If I don't, who will?" Now he looked at Ronaldo, direct but calm. They don't need a savior. They just need someone who believes showing up is worth it. Ronaldo went quiet. There was no plea for help, no mention of struggle, just purpose. He looked back at the children, dust-covered, barefoot, laughing, and suddenly he realized, this man isn't here to fix them. He's here to protect what's pure. Sometimes the greatest gift a father can give is silence, not words, not praise, just the space to be small and free. A week passed. The street stayed the same, dusty, cracked, forgotten by the city. But for Ronaldo, it had become unforgettable. He thought about it constantly, not just the kids, not the football, but what he felt in that moment. Peace. Not the kind he found in mansions or marble locker rooms. The kind that only comes when you're surrounded by people who have nothing and still smile like they have everything. So he made a decision. That Sunday afternoon, his car rolled back into the same street, but this time he wasn't alone. Next to him sat his son, hood pulled over his head, arms crossed. "Where are we going?" the boy asked. Ronaldo smiled slightly. "To a place where no one will ask you who your father is, a place where the game is the only thing that matters." His son raised an eyebrow. "Should I bring my boots?" Number, just bring your feet. They arrived. No one noticed them at first, just another pair of strangers in an old car. Ronaldo nodded to the same coach in the corner. "Mind if he joins?" The man didn't ask any questions. He just pointed toward the group of boys. "If he can keep up." His son walked onto the field, shy at first. Different shoes, different energy. The kids looked at him with curiosity, but within minutes, he blended in. Passes, tackles, laughter. No one asked his name, no one asked who he was, and for the first time in a long time, he just played. No pressure, no headlines, just joy. On the side, Ronaldo leaned against a fence post, arms folded, watching, quiet. He didn't coach, he didn't correct, he didn't interfere, because this wasn't about training, it was about trusting the moment. And in that moment, he saw something he'd forgotten. My son doesn't need to carry my legacy. He just needs to feel the freedom I once had, before the world knew my name. Real gifts don't arrive with cameras or speeches. They arrive quietly and stay forever. It was 2 weeks later. The coach arrived early, like always. Whistle around his neck, small bag slung over his shoulder. No announcement, no change. Until he saw the van, parked at the edge of the field, and beside it, Ronaldo, dressed simply. No sunglasses, no crowd, just him. The coach approached slowly. "Didn't think you'd come back," he said. Ronaldo smiled faintly. "I never really left." He handed the man a folded envelope, worn at the edges, thick but humble. "What's this?" "Blueprints," Ronaldo replied. The coach opened it. Inside, plans, a field, artificial turf, drainage system, lights, bleachers, equipment shed, all mapped out. "I bought the lot across the street," Ronaldo said. "It's not much, but it's clean, it's safe, and it's yours." The coach stared at him, not in awe, not in disbelief, just quiet understanding. "Why?" Ronaldo's eyes softened. "Because I see what you see. I know what it means to fall in love with the game in the dirt, and I know how dangerous that love becomes when no one protects it." He placed a hand on the coach's shoulder. "These kids don't need saving, but they deserve better. And you already give them your time, your heart. Let me give them a place." Later that month, construction began. The kids watched from the broken walls, eyes wide. The coach never bragged. He didn't post photos. He just kept showing up. The field was built in silence. And when it opened, there were no speeches, no photographers, no banners, just grass, lines, nets, hope. Legends are remembered for goals, but heroes for what they leave behind. The sun rose slowly that morning, stretching golden light across the neighborhood. The old broken court was silent now, just a memory. Across the street stood something new, not flashy, not massive, but alive. Green turf glowed under fresh morning dew. White lines perfectly marked. Netting on the goals still smelled like plastic. The air felt different, like something had been restored. The gate creaked open. One by one, the children came running, shoes in their hands, big grins on their faces, jerseys with no names, just colors, just team. They laughed, they called each other, they picked sides, and they played. No fame, no pressure, no spotlight, just the game. Later that week, a small green sign was screwed onto the black iron gate. Not gold, not marble, just painted wood. It read, "Coach Luis Academy, Campo de Esperanza, the Field of Hope." There was no unveiling, no applause, just kids running toward the future. From across the road, standing behind dark glass, Ronaldo watched. He didn't step out. He didn't wave. He didn't want to be seen, because it wasn't about him. It never was. He placed a hand on the window and whispered, "You gave them everything you never had, and they'll become more than you ever dreamed." He turned away. The car pulled off, and the game went on. Sometimes the brightest light doesn't come from the spotlight. It comes from those who walk away quietly after lighting the way. Because the greatest legacy isn't what you build for yourself. It's what you leave behind for those who never had the chance.